So the reason why I'm trying to do this is I'm trying to go into Lightroom first before going into Photoshop, which is the normal way you're meant to work. Any picture whatsoever, take it to Lightroom first. Adjust light, increase brightness, reduce brightness, make the picture pop more before you go into Photoshop. Photoshop is where you do the final edits. Am I correct? Yeah. So let's go. So to import into Lightroom, you open your Lightroom folder. Open Lightroom. Once you're done opening Lightroom, in case you don't know how to import photos into Lightroom, this is how you do it. Once you open Lightroom, it's going to show like this, right? You go to the folder that you want to import from. You know, I told you should have, when you are done snapping, create a new folder in that same folder. Call it selected pictures or selected. Only the best of the best, those are the ones you're putting in that folder. So that you don't need to import 1,000 pictures that you snapped into Lightroom. You understand? So I'm basically going to go to here, go to File. I'm in Lightroom now. Are you paying attention? Where's this guy? So I'm going to go to File. I'm in Lightroom, right? File, import photos and videos. Easiest method. Once you see import photos and videos, minimize your window like this, right? Are you following me? Bring in that folder that you want to work on. Are you following me? Bring in the folder, drag and drop to this place that shows select a source. Sometimes it will work when you drag it in the middle, depending on your version of Lightroom. For some versions, bring it to where? This select a source. It imports immediately for you. Are you getting it? Now, there are some situations whereby when you try to import, the pictures will not come into Lightroom. I'll tell you the reason. Maybe you're trying to import photos and Lightroom is showing you that it is not showing this way. It will show this way. It won't show the real color of the picture. It will show you that it can't import it. The reason is this. You have already imported those pictures previously. So Lightroom still has it in its memory. So the best way for you is go and rename those pictures first before bringing it into Lightroom. You know how to rename pictures or files in your Explorer. That's the secret to that. Do you understand? So once you rename it, if you bring it in, Lightroom does not remember because the name is different. Even if the size is the same, it will see that the name or the ID is different. Do you understand? So that happens a lot for many people. So it will select everything automatically like this, right? You just click on import. Okay, it's not important. That's the sound. So normally you have everything in library like this, right? What you do, you click on develop. Develop is where the magic happens. Then it brings up all this what's it called? Yeah, this adjustments part on this right side. So I said I wanted an outdoor pictures. You can see all of them at this lower part, right? I can scroll to the left or to the right to choose whatever I want. So I said I want to work on this one. Are you following me? Now, in this picture, the question is, what is wrong about the picture? What do you want to correct? Like I always say, right? You look at this now. I want to work on the cloud. I need more blue in that picture. Lightroom is going to bring the blue for me. I want to maybe work on the green or make this place a bit darker. I can do all of that in Lightroom. I'll work on the cloud, then try to work on the brightness of the girl as well as the color of other parts of the picture. I'll first of all do that in Lightroom before taking it into Photoshop. Are you getting it? Now, I have a default preset that I use, which I created myself for any picture that I import into Lightroom. This is the process. I would first of all reduce highlights. Highlights are the bright part of the picture. I mentioned the other day. I'll reduce it like this. I'll go to whites, reduce whites again. Those are the first things I usually do. Reduce highlights, reduce whites. Are you getting me? Then I would increase shadows. Can you see that the skin is brighter automatically? Right. After that, Okay, let me quickly put this call just a second. So, I've reduced highlights, I've reduced whites, right? I increased shadows. Now, on Lightroom, the easiest way for you to know before and after of a picture, you know, I showed you what you do in Photoshop. In Lightroom, you press this backslash. Backslash. This slash will go back like this. This one, backslash. This is it. It will show you before and after. Can you see? Before, after. Can you see? That's what backslash does for you. It's on your keyboard as well. Backslash, not the forward. There's forward slash. Forward slash, they go forward. Backslash, they go backward, right? Okay, so backslash will show before and after, right? After doing reducing highlights, reducing whites, increasing shadows, then I'll go to contrast, increase contrast. Can you see my picture? Now, because I want to make sure I bring this blue. Can you see blue is not showing? Because I think we didn't have much blue sky that day. Then we needed to also expose for the model. What I can now do, I can go to where there is blue. I'll scroll down, go to this part that has hue, saturation, luminance. Saturation, I'll click on saturation, try to see if I can get blue. I can increase blue. Let's see. Okay, the cars and the other things behind there are more blue. Then I need green. I can increase green a little. Yellow is part of the green that's behind her, right? Are you following me? Or if I want to remove yellow, I can remove yellow. I think it's better if I remove yellow. Just a little. Red and orange, they are the main colors of the skin. Red and orange. Red and orange. See now, if I increase red, if I remove red, can you see? If I remove orange, see what orange takes it out entirely. Can you see?
That green, can you make it to be yellowish?
Yes, I can.
Like this. I used to see some.
Yes, I can. It's under here also. It's under here as well. Saturation from the name or from these sliders. Look at these sliders. You see, if you move this slider to the side, you see that you're having more red. If you move it to the left, there is no red. Look at, if I come to this hue, if I move this, they say it's color red, right? If I move this slider to the right, what color will it look like? If I move it to the left, what will it look like?
Red.
Or, look at this. This color here. What color is it? The slider, not this red, though. This slider. What color can you see here?
Blue.
Yeah? Okay, let me work with this yellow. If you move this yellow to the right, what color are you looking at here? Green. If you move this yellow to the left, what color is it looking like? Exactly. Like orange. That's what happens. So you are asking, how do you move this, change this green to what? To yellow. Right. So go to green. Under hue, remember. Go to green. What do you do? I mean, go to, this is more of yellow. Go to yellow. Right? Move it to the side. It's looking orange now, right? If you don't want that, go to green. Move green towards the side. Are you seeing? Which means you can apply it to this picture as well. Are you getting it? If I go to that picture now, the same thing. Under hue, remember saturation is very from hue. From the way the sliders have been designed, it's very easy for you to know what to do. So this is green, right? I'll go to green now. Move it to this side. Can you see? You see, it affected only green there. Correct? So let's continue with what we were doing before. I'll come here now. Then continue. I like the initial green, the way it was. So I'm going to aqua. Is there aqua in the picture? Okay, only our sneakers. Only our sneakers. That's aqua. What else can we edit here? If I increase vibrance, it will add a lot of, just a little bit more color for me. Just a little bit. I don't want too much. Just a little is fine for me. For this picture. Now, let's compare before and after. Before, after. Can you see the difference so far? The picture is looking like we use light. Am I correct? That's what this little adjustment for the picture. It will make it look as if we are using light in that picture. If I go to this one now, I don't like this setting, I'll reset it because I don't want it. Okay. If I go to this picture, in fact, we use light here, so it's even showing. But if we even do those things again, I said reduce highlight a little, reduce white, increase shadow, then increase contrast. Bear in mind, you will know when it's getting too much. If it's getting too much, reduce the values that you have there. So for this one now, I can reduce contrast a little because I don't want it to be too much. You would always know. That's why I said turn your lights off or use white light when editing in that room. Make sure the lights are off or use white light so that you know when the colors are getting too much. So back to what I was working on. Now I said I wanted blue by all means. Now note this. This process is going to show you how to bring back blue sky in pictures, even when you don't have blue sky in the original raw image. Watch. You're going to use one of these tools at this top part. We call it adjustment brush. This is adjustment brush here. What it does is it's just like what we did in Photoshop, whereby you carry brush, apply the paint or whatever you want to do, then use it to cover or work on the particular part. Similar thing applies. I've picked the brush now, right? I will now tell the brush, okay, what I want the brush to do before painting on the picture. Now watch. I want the brush to reduce exposure of this area. I've not started painting. I'm just showing you this area, right? I want the brush to adjust exposure of this area. Do I increase exposure or increase exposure to make blue come out? I'll have to decrease it so that the cloud will be forced to come out, right? So, if I pick the brush, I'll first of all make these settings. I am reducing exposure. It was initially at 0. I'll reduce it a little to like around 1. Then I need blue in the picture. What will I do? I will easily come to this saturation, increase saturation. You know, I've not applied the brush yet. I'm setting this. I'm applying settings for the brush first before going to paint. You're feeling sleepy. You worked overnight again, right? So I'm going to come here now. Check other things. This brush only affects from this point where you have effect to where you can see reset or close. This treatment was the initial settings that we had on that develop. Are you following me? Can you see that these were all the things we did before? So your brush setting stops at where? Reset or close. You can even see this is a new section, right? You can see the first section has to do with this adjustment brush. So I've reduced exposure. Then I will now move, I want it blue. I will move this temperature to the left a little. We just started painting. When we start painting, see the magic that happens. When you're painting, make sure you're not painting on the girl. So what do? Zoom in so you can get the edges very well. Are you guys getting what I'm trying to do? I initially put those settings. Can you see I'm not painting everywhere in the picture? I'm trying to go close to the edges of the cloth so that it does not look somehow. Now, one beautiful thing is after you are done applying, you can still adjust. Are you following me? You can still adjust. Just go back there and adjust. You know why I'm going close to the edges? So that it won't look fake. It will look as if that was how the picture was before snapping. So if you look at this, I've not touched this part. Can you see? Can you see that it's different? So I'll go back there. Then this edge, I've not touched it there, so I will zoom in more so I can see what I want to work. Reduce the size of the brush. Then You know I've not changed the setting. It's still the same setting I'm applying, right? Okay. Let's see. This is definitely better, right? Now, what I'm going to do, I will now, because the brush, I've not deselected the brush. You know, I've not gone back to change that brush. I'm still on that same brush. This point means the brush we're working on, right? So, all I just need to do is now walk around what I have at the moment. You know, I told you don't want to overdo it. So this thing now, I'm going to move it more to the side so I can have more blue color there. Then I can now go back there, and then those ones that I've not done well, because there are some parts that are looking as if I omitted. Look at the corners here. I will zoom in to make sure I get those corners very well. Like I always tell you, you will know when it is getting too much. So once you notice it's getting too much, reduce it or stop. Don't overdo it. This one now I have to reduce a little more because it's looking a bit too much. Those other parts. Okay, let's see. Okay, that middle part, I need to work on that leg part. This middle part is part of the cloud. Remember, don't overdo it. Don't overdo. Once you overdo yourself, you will not like it. Okay, I think there's a little more here. Aha, finally. Now, look at what we've done so far. We've brought in, what's it called? Blue sky into a picture that didn't even have blue sky. Now, imagine when snapping, we had a little bit of sky. Do you know it will come out more? In this, it will come out more. So, I can now try to adjust one or two things here. If I see that I need more, this is actually better than what we had before. But this is too much, right? It's not looking realistic. So I won't want to do too much, like I told you. I don't like overdoing things. Just a little, it's fine. This is okay for me. It's okay for me. Then with this. Now let us compare before and after. Is it not looking like we use light? It is definitely. Absolutely. You get it, right? So, with this now, I will now disable the brush. Since I am done with what? The brush. I am done. I can disable it. Just click on it again. It has returned back to that basic that we saw earlier. That's all. Don't overdo it. Just small. You don't need to do too much. If you see it's getting too much. So the question is, if you want to correct what you've done now, go back to that brush. The moment you click that brush, it will show you the last point that you created, that you used in adjusting the picture. See now.
So you have something
So if I want to edit this thing that I've done before I change anything here, I'll click this point first to tell the computer that I want to work on that former one that I've done. But if I want to do a new thing entirely, I can create. If I want to do a new thing entirely, once I click this and I come to another part, it will create another point for me to tell me this new set of changes you're making is on this point. See, if I want to do this now, can you see? So all the things I'm doing now is for the new place or the new point. But I don't want that. Control Z. Control Z. It has gotten rid of that. But if I want to work on this same old one, what do? I'll come and click here first to tell the computer, okay, these are the things I want to adjust. Do you understand? What's your question?
No, I wanted to ask you, like, if you are painting and you make mistake, can Control Z work on it?
Painting. Yeah, painting background or this thing that of course it's still it will undo. So it is undo.
How about this one? I should don't do the sky blue.
I should touch here?
Yeah, if I want to do it to ground.
The question is, what do you want to do to the ground? Do you understand? You know, we're not painting here. Oh. We're bringing back lost exposure. It's different from painting. Painting means you're using color to paint something. If you notice, we didn't use color. We're just working on what was there. That's why you can see all these wires. That's why they are showing there. Are you guys getting it? That's how it works. Are you getting it? So now, that's how to bring back lost blue sky in any picture you work on.